Hi guys, welcome back. We did actually have a different video planned, but couldn't get the materials that we needed to do it, so that's been put on a back burner. We was going to redo the interior, but that's going to have to wait for a little while. So we're off to go buy some bolts and a drill bit for what you'll see. In fact, it probably shows you in the title of this video, but we're going to lower the van a little bit more just by relocating the rear struts. We need to go get some new bolts and a big drill bit. I think I got one, don't know where it is, so buying more. As you can see, we're not in the van. I am driving the wife's car. Nice Audi A3, 2-litre TDI, quick as stink, been remapped, blah blah blah, lovely car. The reason I'm not driving the van is because the CV joint on the driver's side is banging, clanging and making an absolute racket, so that's also something that needs to get done ASAP. By the looks of it, it's about the same price to buy a whole drive shaft as it is to buy just the CV joint. So not sure what I'm going to do there. I need to look into that a little bit more. So that's another video you can expect. I'm thinking I could probably get away with just re-greasing the CV joint I've got now. And sorry, I've had a Mentos and it's giving me gas. I'm thinking I can grease up the CV joint I've got now, and that'll be good enough. But I'm gonna have to look into that in the next day or two and figure that bad boy out. The CV joint is the joint that goes on the end that goes into the hub at the end of your drive shaft. Some people call it a CV axle, some people call it just the axle, but you know the bit I'm on about, it's that. So yes, again, that's more stuff I've got to figure out. So that's another reason why I'm not doing the interior as I had planned. So anyway, we're going to go off and get this bolt. I'll either film when we're in the shop or when we come out and show you what I've got, and we'll get on with this video. So cheers guys, and welcome to the next day. We went shopping yesterday, didn't bother filming anymore. Queues were mad because of this whole corona thing, and you're probably in the sun. And the time we got back and had some food and whatnot, I couldn't be bothered. But this is what we bought. Not that. We bought a length of threaded bar. It's M12, 500mm long, because we want to make a couple of bolts and I couldn't find the right ones. M12 nuts and washers, and a 12mm metal drill bit, which is the bit I definitely need. But I actually found, I knew I bought some of these, some M12 bolts. Couldn't find them, so I bought the threaded bar just in case. So if needs must, we've got it. We have options at least. But the plan is to lower this more again, just by relocating the strut. So this is how it looks now. It's not on the jack stand, it's just under. And me and my little helper, we're going to get this lower. This literally just drill a couple of holes, relocate the strut. So we're not going to film us taking this lot apart, we'll just film the important stuff. So see you in a sec. Well, managed to get the wheel off, axle stands, jack, just to make sure we're safe. But what we're doing here is I'm going to be cutting down the bump stop you can see in there. That's going to get cut down. Remove this shock, and this bolt up here is getting moved 45mm this way, so about where my finger is. So it puts it more of an angle, allows more low. So we need to take the bolt off the bottom of the strut. That's a 17. That bolt there is an 18. I put that bolt in myself, it's not the standard bolt. And get obviously all this lot apart, so let's get that done. Well, Tobe done a good job, managed to get the shock out. Bit dirty, give it a bit of a clean. And then the top bolt, which went through there, which is the one which went through there, which we're relocating. Just remember, when you take this lot apart, you obviously got the nut, you got the big washer, and then you got the rubber bit. That all goes underneath here. When you see my finger, it goes underneath there. And then you've got another one of these, which goes on the top, and then the shock sits on top of that. So literally, get the spring out. We need to cut this bump stop. We need to cut that bump stop right down to about there. We need to cut most of this off and then relocate that bolt and we're done. So let's get the angle grinder out. Well, all I've done here is, I don't know if you guys can even see that, yeah, just there. I've measured, that's about 30 mil roughly. That's a bit better. That's about 30 mil there. I'm going to cut that off there. So that's how much of the bump stop I'm removing. I will go more, but I don't think I'm going to get my angle grinder in there. So see if I can put you somewhere so you can see me do this. Before anyone asked, Toby wasn't doing the cutting and he was nowhere near it. He moved out the way. Well, that's the bit I cut off. That's how much of my bump stop I cut off. I did gouge it a bit, but I'm gonna put a bit of paint around that. That's how much I got left. I might remove more at a later date, but that's obviously a considerable loss there. So there's that bit done. Now let's get to drilling this hole, relocating that. Happy days. That's your job. So all we've got to do now, let's take measure, is, trying to do this one-handed, is you measure from that hole about 45 millimeters forward and drill a new hole in there. And then it has to go through obviously both sides, nut and bolt, job done. Round about there-ish. That there is about 45 mil-ish. So let's set this drill up and get some drilling done. Well, made a little bit of a hole. That's roughly how far forward we're going to be putting the strap. And the mark, as you can see, goes towards the front of the van. So obviously the strut normally sits like this. It's now going to be sat probably not that much of an angle, but it would just be sat over just a little bit more. So that's the hole we're going to be cutting. So we won't bore you with this. We will come back to you once the hole is drilled. Well, that was an absolute pain in the ass, but got it through. And turns out this, to move that, the bolt that came out of here isn't long enough, so I'm gonna have to use this threaded bar. It's obviously not tight, but I put a nut on this side and a nut on that side roughly, and then I've marked roughly where I want to cut it. That's where I'm going to cut this, and then put it all back together again and then do that side. But that was a pain. I obviously used the new drill bit I got, but I had to use different size drill bits just to get through, because that metal is an absolute pain in the ass to get through. And obviously I have to do that side, but while I was there I did cut off the little bolts and whatnot that go there. That's for the spare wheel. I don't have a spare wheel because these wheels are 18s and the ones that came with are 15s. So I've cut these off. I'm going to spray these black as well. Just get a little bit of paint on there so they don't rust through. I was going to do my toe eye. I'm going to leave it for now, but that's probably going to get deleted as well. That was not as easy as I expected. Right, let's get this bolt cut. That's pretty much where I'm going to be cutting. What I'm going to have to do, because what I have noticed is where it used to go in, there's like a bolt already like welded into the chassis, and obviously on the other side there isn't. And then when you put this in, the strut in, there's a bit of a wiggle room. So what I'm going to probably do is just put a bolt. I have got a few spare bolts somewhere. I'm going to leave, obviously put a bolt on the outside, put on either end, and then put a bolt sort of on this side against the chassis rail, just to give it that extra bit of a spacer on there. So let's get to cutting this. I've always been told, oh, I don't know, well, when you cut a bolt, cut a thread, make sure you put a bolt on it, because then you can chase the thread with the bolt. There we go, like that. You can chase the thread with the bolt. And then that way, it's just so hot, you still have a working thread. Happy days. Right, hopefully you guys can roughly see what's going on here, but this is kind of what I'm trying to do here. So I've got a threaded bolt with a bolt on the inside. This is not going to be easy to do, but use that bolt as, oh damn it, as a washer. There we go. Should come out this side. Then, so washer and a nut. And then the same on this side, tighten it up. This is a little bit more fiddly than just having a nut and bolt, but it's the best solution I had. Well, there's that lot all reconnected and put back together. Obviously need to wait for everything to settle back down because there's a nice little wheel gap. But there is, in fact you can just about see it there, there is my strut relocated. And you probably can't see it, but my bump stop has been deleted. Obviously gonna need to go over and do the other side now. I'm not gonna bother filming that because that's not a relevant thing to do. So hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you can take something from this. Like I said, I'm not going to film the other side because it's exactly the same as that. Any questions, jam it in that comment section down below. Hopefully that settles a bit because I'm not happy with that wheel gap. There we go. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a great big thumbs up. If not already subscribed, go hit that subscribe button. Take it easy.